Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator with Cookie Pirate. Today we're flying the Cirrus SR22 back down in Chile at night. Little unusual, but we're going from Antofagasta, and I'm not 100% sure that I'm saying that right. But we're going up to El Loa, kind of in the middle of the Atacama Desert. Should be about a 34-minute flight, just over 105 miles. And we're going at 15,000 feet to climb aboard and let's go flying. Oh, there is a trace of light, so it isn't like totally night, but yeah, it's pretty dark. I got bribed. No, I'm just kidding. Let's turn the battery switches on, and we're immediately going to turn these down. Battery switches on, CDI set to GPS. We'll initialize the right screen. Set our FLC 110. There we go. Altitude 15,000. Stopped at 14,900. Alright, 1,500, there we go. Or 15,000, sorry. VNav on. Nav on. Strobe lights on. Mixture full rich. Throttle full forward. Fuel switch bump on. We'll cut that back and bump it forward just a tiny bit here. Battery indicator. Clear to the right. And, oh, I got that backwards. Sorry. Yeah, clear to the right and clear to the left. Wow. Okay. Clear! Alright. Engine is started. Oil pressure is immediately up into the green. The temperature is beginning to rise. Battery amperage in the yellow. Turn the 2 alternator switches on, and now we are good. We can turn the avionics on, and we'll turn the nav lights on. And real quick, let's go ahead and grab the weather here at Antofagasta. .200 at 9. 9999, I'm guessing that's pretty much unrestricted visibility. We don't see that in the US and Canada, the weather reports. So I'm guessing this means basically unrestricted visibility. Few clouds at 2300, 14 Celsius, Q1015. Now remember, in most countries that aren't the US and Canada, they're going to use this Q pressure, which is hectopascals. So the way around that, well, it's actually set. Well, that's nice. I think the time before we actually had to go in and change the units. Saying 7:57 p.m. local. It should be the same time zone as it is right now here. Unless, no, I don't think they would have changed this early. Beware the forklift drivers. Okay. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit on the map here. So south is that direction. That's where the wind is going, and it's 9 knots. So we're basically going to want to just turn around and either go straight here, take the intersection, or we can make a turn and go. We'll probably just go straight. We've got plenty of runway that we can utilize. So let's set that. Let's go ahead and turn the landing light on so we can see a little better. Let me get the flight tracker up for you all.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear, driving towards the sun.
Parking brake released. Here we begin taxiing. Nice and slow. We don't want to clip any wingtips. Yeah, we're good. We have ever just the trace of twilight. Right past the whole bar. Ha! Oh boy. Yeah, that would not be good in the real world. And I think what happened there is the throttle just set the power so high, we were going so fast, and we hit the brakes and just... yeah. I mean, my throttle is at idle, and I put my hand on it, and it goes right back. You see it jumping all over the place. I really don't understand what is going on with this. I'm gonna have to do some looking into that. This may need to be RMA'd if it isn't too late. And if it is, I'm just gonna probably upgrade. Yeah, you see that? That's... yeah. I have no clue what is going on with that. It's quite frustrating, honestly. Alright, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do a run-up real quick, so we will put the throttle up to... looking for about 1700 RPM. That's close enough there. So let's turn the ice light and the pitot heat on. Electrical systems are good. We can turn those two back off. Now let's do mag checks. We're good on the right mag. Back to both. Now the left. Good. Back to both. And good going back. It's important when you go back to both that you check to make sure the RPMs go back up too. I know we always talk about that they should drop the proper amount. But when you turn it back to both, you need to make sure that they both are activating and bring the RPMs back up. Alright, engine instruments are good. No warnings, cautions, alerts, anything else there. Pull the power back to idle. Flaps go to half. We have all our lights on. Go outside real quick, check the flight controls. Rudder is good. Elevator is good. Ailerons are good. Back into the cockpit, the last thing we need to check. We actually can't see it super well. We can go off that right there. Trim is set to take off. Flaps are confirmed at half. And the last thing is a quick autopilot check.
Engaging autopilot.
Good. Alright, parking brake is released. Let's go ahead, taxi out right here onto the runway. Line up with center line. Standard takeoff. Holding the brakes, we're going to go full power. Nice and smooth. We'll let go. We're going to look to rotate at 77 knots and lift off in the low 80s. .77, and we're airborne right at 80. Good. Positive rate of climb. And let's go ahead and bring the flaps up. And we'll go ahead and engage the autopilot and turn on course at 1200 on the altimeter. That's 800 above the airfield elevation, which was around 400. Lower the nose a little bit here. Look at the takeoff. Just the view of the sky right here, it's absolutely beautiful. Alright, let's begin the turn and
Engaging autopilot.
engage the autopilot, and it should swing us around to the course. I don't know why that didn't sync up when I entered the information. It was set to display, but yeah, I don't know. But we got it up now, so we're good. Now let's go ahead and zoom out on the map a little bit here. And we can turn to relative. Alright. Pull the map up. We're set on course and we should be all good. We can turn the landing light off. SCFA, that's the identifier for the Antofagasta airport. This is the VOR that they have. Our course tonight is taking us inland. It's a pretty short flight. We're going here to El Loa, which is in the middle of the Atacama Desert. And going to 15,000, it should only be about a 34-minute flight total. And the map doesn't really reflect this, but everything up here, so this is the northern limit of Chile, right here. And pretty much everything from here all the way down past here, Antofagasta. And all the way in down to about here is the Atacama Desert, which is one of the driest places in the world. So we're basically flying over desert, and we're going to be flying into even more harsh desert, I should say. As you can see, there is just a little bit of twilight left, so it's not completely dark, so you may get a little bit of illumination of the terrain, but not much. If you turn back and look this way, there's the airport. This is the city of Antofagasta, which is, I believe, the 5th largest in Chile. I have to look that up. Okay, yeah, Antofagasta is the 5th largest city overall. In terms of like the metropolis or greater areas. But if you take the city as a whole, it's actually the 3rd. Yeah. It's the third largest outside of the Santiago area. And yeah, you can see kind of an arid, even with just this little bit of twilight that's left. As you look around and you can see how arid the area is. Looks like you're out in the desert. And that, in fact, you are. And again, it should be a pretty short... Oh, that's pretty out there. Take a look. You can still see enough of a contrast between the land and the Pacific Ocean there. That's pretty. Still should be a pretty short flight. 34 minutes, I believe. There we go. There's 10,000 feet, and it is 10 Celsius up here. It's still fairly warm. You know, one of my favorite things about flying at night is when you're over an area that there isn't a lot of like city light and stuff, and you're really able to get a good glimpse of the night sky. All of the stars and everything. And I don't think it's technically night here right now. I believe it would be considered... I mean, I can look real quick. I believe it would be considered astronomical twilight. But let me take a look here. Seven 14 p.m. No, you know what? It is actually the very end of nautical twilight right now. So we have a little bit longer to go. By the time we land in El Loa, it will be deep astronomical twilight. And the difference between astronomical twilight and night is, well, during the astronomical twilight, there's still just that little bit of residual light in the sky that makes it difficult to see dim stars. You can see bright ones by that point, but dim stars will still be kind of difficult to see. And then, once you do get to night, it will be easier to see pretty much all of the stars. There's an indicator that we need to turn the pitot heat on, so let's go ahead and do that. That's 3 Celsius here. It's probably going to be about 0 at 15,000 feet, and we're just about there. But the true definition of night is when the sun goes below 18 degrees below the horizon. And if it's above, or I should say, if it's less than 18 degrees below, like if it's closer to the horizon than that, it's still considered twilight, technically. -2. Alright, here we are, leveled off at 15,000 feet. Or leveling off, I should say. We're just about there. We're gonna go ahead, pull the power back. We're looking for... let's bump it forward. This throttle keeps jumping around. 30.5 on the manifold pressure. Nope, jumps up. Pull it back. There we go. We're gonna lean to 20 gallons per hour. Right there we said 89%. Alright. Cruise power is set. We'll go ahead and switch to the right tank. We'll turn the fuel switch pump off and... yeah, sit back and relax for a little bit here. There's some pretty gentle winds aloft, and we have a 2-knot tailwind component. Yes, it is. It's quite light. We're still doing 203 over the ground, which is pretty good. That should put us on track for about a 34-minute flight time total. And we are, according to this chart that I'm looking at, we are officially into astronomical twilight. The difference I talked about between astronomical twilight and night, but the difference between astronomical and nautical twilight is that during nautical you can see the difference between the ocean or the land terrain and the sky, and during astronomical twilight it's generally a lot more difficult or impossible to differentiate. And those are the old standards of defining it. But the difference between the two in terms of how far the sun is below the horizon is 12 degrees. So if it's less than 12 degrees, it's nautical. And if it's more than 12 but less than 18, it's astronomical. It's actually quite pretty. I'm kind of surprised we're able to see the ground as well as we are. Take a look outside here. Whoa. That's just... yeah. So as a kid I was always fascinated with astronomy. And I mean, even today, where I'm much older, I'm in my 30s, and I'm just kind of mesmerized by the cosmos. It's fascinating. So you can actually see a little bit of the... oh! Hey! There's the moon. That's something remarkable. Huh. There's the moon right there. But I mean, you can still see the Milky Way. Kind of running back through here, kind of from upper left down to lower right. Man. And when it gets to be nighttime, that's gonna look probably 10 times better. When you can actually see all the stars and all the features of the night sky that are dimmer and that you can't see while there still is some residual light, like there is right now. But yeah, that's pretty neat. You can still see the ocean too, which is kind of cool. And if we just look out this way, I'm gonna zoom in. And I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, you know what? I'm pretty sure those are clouds. Getting a closer look. But almost some of it looks like a little bit of terrain. But I don't think it can be. Just knowing the geography of the area, as this continues to go all the way up, and only here, kind of at the edge of Chile. I think the border's here on the river, although it actually may be lower, but I can tell because this is Arica in Chile, because SC. And then up here is SP, which is Peru. So the border is definitely between these two airports. And I just don't remember exactly the path that it follows. And then you have Bolivia here. And a little bit further down is Argentina that starts somewhere kind of out here. So, but we're definitely well within Chile. .11 knot wind aloft, 10 knots now, and we're getting a 3 knot tailwind component, -2, 15,000 feet. And we are just below halfway. Yeah, we're at the halfway point now. Let's see if we can pick the weather up in Eloa. Yes. 260 at 10. Ceiling and visibility okay. 16 Celsius on the ground. Minus 21 is the dew point. That's an indicator that the air is extremely dry. When you have, so the second number here, you have the first number, which is the temperature, which is by far the more important. But it is good to know the dew point, and the dew point is the second number kind of behind the slash. So a dew point of minus 21 is extremely low, especially when the temperature is minus 16. Or plus 16, I'm sorry. That's a huge difference. And then 1026 on the altimeter. So we'll go ahead and set that as we're now beyond the halfway point. And we're going to drop a little bit of altitude because the difference in pressure there gained us about 300 feet. And what we're also going to do is go ahead and pull up the airport map. Or we'll just pull up the map in general and get the airport information. Eloa Kalama, 9,900 feet. Plenty of room there. And it's 1028, so we're probably going to need to take 28 based on the wind, which means we'll actually end up flying kind of past the airport and then circling back around. So I will say, let's go procedure, select approach. They have RNAV, VOR. We'll take the visual 28. The weather should be quite good. And we'll set straight. Set, and we'll set a direct course to the fix. And yeah, that'll give us top of descent, which will be a little bit later. I did not catch the airport elevation, so I want to bring that back up. $75.31. Okay, yeah. What I would say we should do is go ahead and bring the altitude down to 10,000. I mean, really, we could even set it to 9,000. That'll be 1,500 feet above the ground. And we're not going far out of the way of the airport. So that way, when we get to the top of descent point, which will still be a few minutes, but we'll go ahead and get started down. Zoom out a little bit there. Yeah, so the airport's here. The terrain is really only marginally higher right here. What we'll be doing is swinging around and dropping in for a final into Eloa right here. There is some high terrain that we'll need to just keep an eye out for. But as long as we stay on course, we should be good. Might be a little bit of an impressive mountain kind of right here. And it looks like it's at 11,000 and change. Yeah, not quite 12,000 feet. I would love to fly further out east, probably in the daytime, where you can see some of the salt flats and some really tall mountains, volcanoes. So I was having a little trouble deciding on a route. Most of the ones that I'd looked at taking were far too long than, well, yeah, far too long compared to what I was really willing to do. You were talking an hour plus. And I generally like to keep my flights within 45 minutes to an hour. Of course, that isn't always possible. But I thought of doing one kind of down around Santiago, where it left off the last time. But there weren't really a lot of good options. And at night, where you would really want to be able to see scenery in the daytime. At night, you don't get the chance to see that, and that's kind of, in my opinion, a little bit lackluster. Still have the map pulled up. That's my mistake there. Yeah, you can kind of see the city already. On the ocean is pretty much out of view. Certainly the desert isn't. Oh, look at that! Yeah, you can see this a little bit better right now. That's pretty. Yeah. And it would get better as it gets darker. So if we did this an hour later, yeah, I think we'd been for a real night treat. And I don't generally do a lot of night flights, kind of for the reason that I explained. It's just difficult to see stuff, and you don't get as good of views, although in a sense you kind of do. You can't really see like the land around you and stuff, but you certainly get good views of the stars, the sky. I know I've mentioned this several times, I cannot wait for Flight Sim 24 when they have the Northern Lights. We're going to be doing a ton of Alaska flights in the winter in 24. With the cold and the Northern Lights visible. You get really good aircraft performance too in the wintertime. There will be places where it'll be 60 below in Fahrenheit. So that would be about minus 51 in Celsius. And your aircraft performance at those temperatures is just ridiculously good. We'll do a flight somewhere where it's minus 60 up to where it's 0. Those are, again, Fahrenheit temperatures. So that would be, yeah, minus 50, minus 51, up to about minus 18. And we could brag about it being warm. See some flashing lights here. And I believe, yep, that is the airport. So this is the airport we're landing at, but we're going to be coming in from this side here. City of Aloha. Oh, that's a repeat. Yeah, let me get that. Now, hold on a second. Sorry. all messed up this. There we go. Alright, top of descent, we're a little bit fast here. We're actually in the yellow. We slow back down to 175, we'll be good. Back to about 38%, which is what we normally set to. Trying to fix the music and then the plane starts descending because of the VNAV. Well, we're a little bit fast. I was gonna say this almost looks like you'd be kinda on like Mars or something like that. And interestingly, you get a lot of scientists, astronomers, and stuff like that that actually study this area down here in the Atacama Desert, because in some locations the conditions in the terrain are quite similar to what you would find on parts of Mars. Not counting the atmospheric conditions, but in terms of like the terrain and everything. And the geology. I wish it would be a little bit lighter, but if you took a look, like in the daytime where you could see the terrain a little bit better, you might think, without knowing any better, that you might actually be, I don't know, dare I say, on Mars? I mean, the ground's got that reddish tan color. Let's double check the weather, just make sure we don't have any updates. I don't think we will, but it doesn't hurt to double check. Nope, we're good. Alright, I am going to cut the power so we can get slowed down here. Once we get below 150, we can go half flaps, which we'll do because we have a pretty steep descent and turn to make into the airport. Alright, half flaps. And we can go ahead and put some power back in, which we'll go ahead and do. Just looking for a nice gradual kind of decay of the speed here when we get down into about 110, 120. We'll actually bump a little more power in. We just don't want to go above 150. We don't want to overspeed the flaps, and we're holding pretty steady there. So we should be pretty good. Let's go ahead and turn the landing lights. Pitot heat can come off. It's 9 Celsius. Let's turn the boost pump on. Do we need to switch fuel tanks? No. No, we're good. And, mixture's okay where it is right now. We'll go full rich once we turn final approach. And take a look. Somewhere over here is the mountain that's 11,000 feet up. Yeah, it's kind of behind us here. Yeah, okay, right there. But yeah, just look at this terrain. I mean, the little bit that you can see, it looks almost otherworldly. Whoa! Oh, that's the landing light, yeah. Kind of blinding when you try to look at the stars, but you can see them even more clearly now. It's quite pretty. I mean, at least I think so. Now let's continue this down. We're good. There's the airport. There's the city. We are set up on VNAV. Oh, those are windmills. Okay. I was gonna say, you see a bunch of red lights like that out in the distance, those are obstruction lights. So they're giving you a caution to something. And I wonder what they were. Well, these ones interestingly don't have red lights. Yeah. They don't care if you fly into those. That'd be kind of messed up, actually. And we are a little bit low. The good news is it is flat, so if we had an engine failure, we'd just be able to kind of glide and... Yeah, you know what? No, you know what? This did not fly the RNAV correctly. Or the VNAV. With that curve. Whatever. Let's take power out. We'll slow down to 110. Full flaps. Put the power back. Not quite that much there. Let's disengage the autopilot and hand fly. Mixture goes full. Rich now. Well, you know what? The VNAV actually didn't fly too far below what it was supposed to. Take some power out because we are 100 knots coming into land. Let's raise the nose a little bit here. Try to pick the glide path back up. And that's... I don't think that's aligning quite right because we're actually pretty close to the glide path, and it's saying 4 reds on the PAPI lights. Now there's 1 Y, 3 reds, yet the approach thing is telling us. So this may have a steeper approach than normal. I don't know though. Kind of unusual, but there's the runway. We're fast, so we're probably going to need to bleed some speed off, which means just kind of floating a little bit. As long as we don't balloon. 70 knots. Stick full back. We're going to 3-point it a little bit. Minus 181. I mean, that wasn't terrible considering the runway slopes downhill, so you kind of have to take that into account too. It seemed like a much smoother touchdown than minus 181. So it probably had some to do with the runway gradient running downhill. Yeah, I mean, from where we touched down, we're already 60 feet below that, so I would say if we took that gradient off, that we probably touched down about minus 100. There's the turn off. Are we gonna hit it? Yeah, we're good. Alright, well here we are on the ground. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. Actually, we're gonna lean the mixture just a little bit. Now we're gonna enrich in it because the air is thin where we're at. We're only getting 5% power. Zoom in, and let's go ahead and turn topographic on, and it looks like we can just go ahead and taxi straight ahead, park on the ramp. Alright, bump the throttle forward a little bit while we get moving. So much light at the building up ahead. Which I'm guessing is the airport terminal, but yeah, that just doesn't seem quite right there. But yeah, here we are right out in the middle of the Atacama Desert. Definitely want to do more Chile flights. The scenery is so varied. From the desert up here to where we flew Concepcion and Santiago the other day seemed a little more temperate. And of course, if you go down to Patagonia, it's very kind of cool temperate in the winter. So I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, you know what? I think they actually do. I think they have us park over here. So we'll just cross up this way here. And yeah, there's a bus to beware. Ground vehicles in Microsoft Flight Simulator. No borders. No boundaries was what I was starting to say. Means the vehicles in flight sim at airports in Chile are probably just as unpredictable as the ones in Alaska. Yep. And yeah, we couldn't make the turn sharp enough there from where we lined up. There's a good stop. Let's go ahead and set the parking brake. Now let's get ready to shut this plane down. Right, here we are. Landing light off. Nav lights off. Mixture is full rich. We can turn the fuel switch pump off. Tank doesn't need to be switched back. Looks like everything's good, so let's go ahead and actually cut the avionics and the mixture. Okay, yeah, 38 minutes. Alright, so a little longer. Still not bad. Pretty short, quick flight. Engine is stopped. We can turn the alternator switches off. Let's turn the magnetos to off. Strobe lights can come off. And last but not least, 2 battery switches. And yeah, that is mega bright. Those are jet bridges right there. Oh yeah, whatever that lighting there. That we got a glimpse of them. That terminal's super bright. I don't think that's correct, so well, I don't know what determines how they make it that way. One more view of the night sky. A little bit tougher since we're on the ground, so we can't really look from below up to the sky. But the Milky Way, it is becoming more visible and certainly pretty. Back into the plane and back out there. I would say that's a good view for shutdown right there. Alright folks, well that's going to do it for this one. Welcome to trying to think of the town. Calama? That's right. Okay. Welcome to El Loa Airport in Calama, Chile, in the middle of the Atacama Desert. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Hope you enjoyed the view. Hope you enjoyed the stars because it's nighttime. Oh, anyway. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it, and thanks for flying with me, and hope to have you aboard on the next one. And as always, until next time, folks, take care, stay safe, we'll see ya.